You know, I really love it when people ask people in my generation, or, you know, I'll speak for me, but I'm sure I speak for other people in my generation, when people who are older say, oh, well, why are you not doing this? Or why are you not, out doing more? Or why are you upset? Or, you know, you're being lazy. You're just lying around. Why aren't you doing more? Why are you just scrolling on your phone? Or if I'm in public and someone like a door greeter says, hey, how are you today? What I really want to tell them is, well, how the fuck do you think I'm doing? Like, I'm in a job that I can't stand, that I literally want to tear the hair out from its bulbs every single day when I go into, but I don't have a choice because I have to work this kind of job to make money if I ever want to be able to live out on my own. And even with this job, even with the pay it gets, I'm never going to be able to afford a house. I'm never going to be able to afford certain things unless I work literally forever, unless I work myself to death. I don't like my job, but the job market is so terrible that I can't get another job no matter how hard I try, and even if I do, it won't be much better. So the only hope is to try to make it in some hobby, which is extremely unlikely to happen. There's the whole thing where it's, if you're single now, the odds that you're going to find someone are close to zero, just because of how awful this dating landscape is for people in this generation, how social media has destroyed it, how neither of the genders trust each other, both of the genders are at each other's throats, both of the genders blame each other for their problems. People have lost touch with how to communicate with people. There's that. There's also the fact that I am thinking right now, and a lot of people my age are thinking right now, like, yeah, I'm never going to be able to have kids because, one, it's too expensive, we can't afford it in this economy, and also, with how shitty the world is right now, there's no way I would want to bring another person into this, because I think it's selfish, with how the world is now, to bring someone into it, unless you can be certain that they're not going to be suffering like people my age are. You shouldn't be bringing someone into this world. So I'm having to deal with that. Even though I want to be a father and want to be a husband, I have to come to terms with the fact that, especially the father part, it's probably not likely going to happen. So you take all of that, and that is already just terrible and a perfect storm that people my age are navigating by the skin of their teeth. You take that, and then you also take the fact that that also puts you mentally in a bad spot. And I have things in my past that I regret, and decisions I've made that I'd take back. I also have body insecurities, like I'm sure most people do. So you pile all of that on, and that's how I'm doing. I'm doing fucking terrible. And I'm not someone who curses, but it's just like, I don't know, for emphasis, it's just like, how do you think we're supposed to be doing? And maybe now you know why we're lazy, or why we're just rotting in bed scrolling on our phones. It's because I literally can't see how I have a future. How am I supposed to have a future if I'm stuck being miserable at a job that I don't like and I don't have any way out of it? I have almost no shot of having a future relationship-wise or having a family. I'm in constant mental turmoil, and we're also kind of destroying the earth in all of these war and conflict that's going on. It's like, yeah, I'm doing terrible, like, and so are almost everyone. And it's so selfish, in my opinion, that people in the older generations will blame people in my generation for not doing well, when it's like, okay, you're the cause of a lot of these problems, and not only are you the cause of it, but you brought someone into the world knowing that all of this was happening, making them have to go to a 9 to 5, work 40 hours a week, to basically get no return on their investment or their salary, and telling them to just suck it up and deal with it, not helping them at all. In fact, the people who can do stuff about it, the people in power and government and corporations, they just want to take advantage of people like us. People who are just in the normal working class, they don't care really about the person who's down there in the pits. And I'm not a political person. That's another thing. Politics has just gone completely to crap. That's the other thing, is there's not much hope for that. the the people who can do something about it, I've seen it. They take advantage of vulnerable people, and the average person who's working in the cubicle, they could care less about. So it's just like, I mean, how do you expect people to feel? How do you expect people to be happy about their current predicament? I mean, I've scrolled on, it's not just me. I've scrolled on this app and I've seen so many people talk about how they regret having been born. They are just tired of life, and not even all of them from like a suicidal point of view, just people who are just exhausted with life, you know? We have seen a spike in self bye-byes, you know, and I think a lot of it has to do with this, you know, people I've just lost hope, you know? It's ridiculous that people in older generations and people in power just expect people, Gen Z millennials, just be like, yeah, just be okay with it. Just be okay being, you know, stomped on and kicked and thrown to the wayside, and, you know, make them go seek services where people basically just pat them on the back and tell them it'll get better when it probably won't. It's just ridiculous and infuriating, and most of us are at our wits' end with it. We really are. So, if you wanted to know how I'm doing, Mr. or Mrs. Door Greeter, or Mr. or Mrs. Older Generation, now you know. And thanks a lot for, you know, spurring all this into motion. I know that people in older generations probably didn't cause all of this, but you certainly didn't help.